What if I told you that the man who became the leader of the free world barely survived World War II? That the first ever televised debate changed the course of American history. That the world came this close to nuclear war under his leadership. And that his tragic assassination is still debated to this day. Let's dive into the story of JFK. Our story begins in 1917 when a tiny baby named John Kennedy entered the world. Rich, ambitious, and probably already running for office. Invade Cuba! The Kennedy family wasn't just a family. It was an elite, high stakes, no mercy competition. If you weren't winning, you were disappointing. And disappointing, yeah, not an option. Now, little Johnny, walking medical disaster. Scarlet fever, got it. Stomach issues, oh for sure. Chronic back pain, like an 80-year-old man in a teenager's body. Basically, if there was a disease starter pack, JFK had the deluxe edition. But did that stop him from being a total menace? Nope. At Kyoto, a fancy prep school, he founded a gang called the Muckers, whose mission was simple. Cause maximum chaos. Sting bombs, classic. Pranks, non-stop. Detentions. Oh, absolutely. Teachers said he was smart, but had the work ethic of a houseplant. But who had time for studying when you were competing with your older brother, Joe Jr., aka Dad's favorite, and definitely the future president? Awkward. Then came Harvard, where JFK finally got serious-ish. He studied government, partied like a champion, let's rock and roll, and wrote a thesis on how Britain messed up before World War II. It was so good, it became a best-selling book. After that, he traveled the world, met important people, and realized, wow, things are really about to hit the fan. So naturally he thought, why not? So John had just graduated from Harvard, written a book, and was basically vibing. But then, December 7, 1941, the day the US got a very loud wake-up call. Japan had just speed-ran the US into World War II. And JFK? He was not about to sit this one out. Alright, Mr. Kennedy, let's check your health records. Oh wow, your spine is more twisted than a political scandal. Perfect for a naval officer. Sir, you should not be anywhere near a battlefield, or stairs, or a chair without any support. Listen, just sign the papers. And just like that, JFK was in the Navy. At first, they stuck him in a boring desk job. I didn't sign up for Office Space World War II edition. But JFK hated paperwork more than he hated losing elections. So he pulled some strings and got himself assigned to PT boats. Tiny, fast, and about as reliable as a dollar store flashlight. This thing's made of plywood? Yeah, but aggressive plywood. Kennedy took command of PT-109, patrolling the Solomon Islands to harass Japanese supply convoys. Enemy destroyer spotted. Alright boys, let's take them down. These things were about as accurate as stormtroopers in a Star Wars movie. Reload? But before they could, something unfortunate happened. PT-109 was just kinda sitting there, alone in the dark, basically asking for trouble. Wait, is that? Surprise, loser! Oh no! 2 men died instantly. The rest stranded behind enemy lines in shark-infested waters. Hey yo, dinner served! Nope. With an injured crewman's light jacket strapped in his teeth, JFK swam for hours, leading his men to safety. Eventually, they reached Plum Pudding Island, which had no food, no water, no Wi-Fi. Absolutely zero chance of survival. Alright, so what's the plan? We do it the old-fashioned way. Then, like a literal video game quest, native islanders found them and took the coconut to an Australian coast watcher. Crikey, this yak needs help. And just like that, rescue time. Hey, we heard you needed a lift. Took you long enough. For literally saving the entire crew, JFK received the Navy and Marine Corps Medal. And that, kids, is how JFK went from that rich kid to actual war hero. Now let's see if I can survive politics. John F. Kennedy, the young, charming senator who almost became America's first influencer. But before all that, his dad, Joseph Kennedy Sr., had a dream. One of my sons will be president. Originally, that honor was supposed to go to Joe Jr. Oof, didn't make it. Wait, I was trying to nap, not run the country. JFK begrudgingly joined politics, running for Congress in 1946. And guess what? He actually won. Nice. Let's do it again, but bigger. In 1952, he went for the Senate. Boom, another win. But then in 1956, he tried getting the vice president nomination and not this time, kid. And in 1960, JFK was like, fine, I'll just run for president then. He faced Richard Nixon, a seasoned politician who looked like he had tax fraud for breakfast. The biggest moment, the first ever televised debate. JFK, cool, confident, camera ready. Nixon, sitting like a snowman in Florida. But here's the crazy part. TV viewers thought JFK crushed it. Radio listeners, they thought Nixon won. Apparently, in politics, looks do matter. The race was insanely close. But JFK barely won. Curse you, technology! And that's how JFK became the youngest elected US president. So, quick backstory. In 1959, a guy named Fidel Castro kicks out Cuba's old government and turns the whole island communist. Not on our watch. Too late, amigos. Eisenhower and the CIA were like, let's train Cuban exiles to invade and let's take back the island. JFK becomes the president and gets handed this plan. Are we sure about this? Yeah, totally. It will work. Alright. But keep America's name off it. If this fails, I don't want to be blamed. Spoiler, it goes bad. April 17, 1961. 1,400 Cuban exiles land on a beach at the Bay of Pigs. Boats crash on coral reefs. Airstrikes fail. Cuba knew about the invasion the whole time. Castro and his army absolutely wreck the invaders. That was easy. It's an international embarrassment. The US looks like clowns. JFK takes full responsibility on TV, but privately, he's furious. The CIA just scammed me. Oops, our bad? JFK starts distrusting the CIA, and in return, they start secretly hating him. Foreshadowing, maybe. Okay, maybe that wasn't the best idea. But Castro, oh, he was furious. And when a communist needs backup, who do they call? Hey, Khrushchev, America just tried to overthrow me. Got any missiles? Oh, I got missiles. And submarines. And bombers. Say no more. Meanwhile, the US had already placed nuclear missiles in Turkey, aimed right at the Soviet Union. So Khrushchev was like, "You can play that game, buddy." It's October 1962. Everything seems normal. Until US spy planes fly over Cuba and snap some photos. Guys, there are some Soviet nukes in Cuba. Excuse me, what? How close are we talking? 90 miles from Florida? That's way too close. This was a nightmare scenario. Soviet missiles could now strike the US before America could even respond. JFK had two options. A. Airstrikes, then full invasion. Option B. Do something less explodey? Yeah, let's go with option B. So, instead of bombing Cuba, JFK announces a naval blockade, stopping all Soviet ships from delivering more weapons. The US will not allow nuclear missiles in Cuba. Turn your ships around. Or what? We'll intercept them. So you wanna fight? The world hits pause. Because this is as close as the US and USSR have ever come to nuclear war. Soviet ships keep sailing towards the blockade. Should we stop? No one told me what to do, man. Just keep going. We may all die tomorrow. Good night. For 13 days, the world is on the edge. Soviet ships approach the blockade and then suddenly stop. They are not turning around. Okay, plan B, secret negotiations. Meanwhile, things get even scarier. A US pipeline strays into Soviet airspace. A Soviet submarine nearly launches a nuclear torpedo, thinking war has begun. The US readies 144 nuclear missiles for launch. Till finally, Khrushchev blinks. Fine, we'll take our missiles out of Cuba. Nice. But you have to take your nukes out of Turkey. Fine. But let's keep that secret, okay? Deal made. Missiles removed. Crisis averted. Okay, let's never do that again. How about we compete with the Soviets in something less nuclear? Like space. Enter the space race. The US and the Soviet Union are basically two kids trying to one-up each other in science class. We sent Sputnik to space first. Also first man in space. Yuri Gagarin, baby. Okay, what if we go bigger? JFK goes to Rice University in 1962 and drops one of the most legendary speeches ever.
We choose to go to the moon in this decade and do the other things, not because they are easy, but because they are hard.
And so, NASA goes into hyperdrive. Mission checklist. Build rockets that don't explode. Train astronauts to not freak out in space. Beat the Soviets. JFK doesn't live to see it. But in 1969, Apollo 11 lands on the moon. One small step for man. One giant leap for America wins again! Folks, it's November 22, 1963. Dallas, Texas. JFK is rolling through the streets in an open-top limo, looking like a total movie star. But, where's the roof on this car? What's the worst that could happen? I trust my security team. Oh boy. The crowd is cheering, the sun is shining, and JFK is waving like a rock star. I love Texas. We love you too! But then out of nowhere, bang, 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 shots fired. JFK slumps over, the limo speeds off, and the world holds its breath. He's rushed to the hospital, but it's too late. America is shook. We regret to inform you that the president has been assassinated. Wait, what? Now, time to find the bad guy. Introducing Lee Harvey Oswald, ex-Marine, moved to the USSR for a bit, worked at a building overlooking JFK's route. 2 hours later, arrested at a movie theater watching War is Hell. Did you kill the president? Not me, bro. Sure. But wait, the story gets crazier. Before Oswald can say anything else, bang! A guy named Jack Ruby shows up and shoots him on live TV. Wait, what? Folks, history is just writing itself at this point. Jack, why'd you shoot him? I wanted to spare Jackie Kennedy the pain of a trial. Sure, buddy. And just like that, the guy who could have explained everything is dead. Convenient. Suspicious. You decide. Now America's biggest whodunit begin. Theories flying everywhere. Did the CIA do it? The Mafia? The Soviets? Bigfoot? Okay, maybe not that. The Illuminati? Lyndon B. Johnson? He did get the job afterward. The US government is like, alright, let's figure this out for real. So they set up the Warren Commission. Yeah, Oswald acted alone. Case closed. Wait, that's it? No further investigations, no dramatic twists? Nope, normal gunman situation. Seems too simple. Even decades later, people aren't buying it. And the theories just keep piling up. You see the bullet zigzag like this? Go outside, bro. You'll never really know. And just like that, America loses a legendary president. but gains one of history's wildest conspiracy theories.